Hi, everyone from Parkside Elementary School in Solon. I am Denyse with Artist at Heart, and I am super excited to create some art with you today. We're going to have an art party. Yeehaw! So I thought I'd wear my October autumn attire for this special party that we're going to have. And if you don't have a printable, I'm going to draw it out step by step by step. I hope you have one of these just as a reference, or you can use it to color on. But I really like when you make it your own. That means you can add and change anything to it that I'm going to do, right? So think about it right now. Think outside the box. What could you do that I'm not going to do? Could you add a face? Could you put a kitty cat face on there? Absolutely. Okay, mine is black, like a silhouette, or maybe my kitty cat's facing the moon. It's definitely a nighttime artwork because bats are nocturnal. They come out when it gets dark. So I have a pumpkin, right? And when you add a face to a pumpkin, well, here's my pumpkin. I got a baby pumpkin right here. So my little pumpkin, but when you add a face to a pumpkin, it's called a jack-o'-lantern. So if you want to add a cute little face on your pumpkin, you can. This is your artwork. So I want you to customize it however you want. So here's one with a face, okay? This is your artwork. You do it how you want. Now I'm going to draw it out step by step. You can use the printable template as a reference, which means look at it up close, or you can use that to color on and add to. So I'm going to start with a circle. If you have something that would fit on your paper to trace as a circle, it's pretty hard to draw a really great circle freehand, but you can try. You know, mine's not going to be perfect. And I'm going to stop right about there. Now, if you're using a pencil, which I highly recommend you use a pencil, you can do the whole circle because you can erase it. I'm using a black marker, so it's not going to be quite as easy to erase. I always wonder, what did these people keep in this pocket here? Could you find a pencil? Sure. There could be a pencil. I got a bunch of stuff in there. Shh, I'm not going to tell you everything that's in there. But you never know when you're going to need a pencil to write, to do math, but especially to draw, right? So use your pencil. And then I'm going to do my kitty cat. I think the shape inside the ears, like right in the beginning, is more like a U. So I'm going to do a U. And then kind of like a triangle, down, down. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. So maybe it doesn't come out great the first time. So you try it again, and you try it again, and you try it again, until you like it. I'm going to put a little space in here. There's my kitty cat with his tail. But now he looks like he's floating, right? He's floating up by the moon. So we need to give him a foundation. He's going to sit on a pumpkin. So I'm going to give, think of it like parentheses. So I'm going to put a line here, like a backward C, and another one, a C or parentheses, and then I'm going to kind of give it a wavy line. Now it's still floating, so let's give it the ground. I'm going to do a wavy horizontal line. So horizontal, horizontal. Now my pumpkin's sitting in the grass. To make my pumpkin, right now my pumpkin looks really flat, two-dimensional. We want to give it some form. Form is when something is three-dimensional, or it gives the illusion that it's three-dimensional. So how would I make that flat pumpkin look a little bit more three-dimensional? I'm going to add some lines to it, okay? So I could just add some curved lines to my pumpkin. So one side would curve that way. The other side would curve this way. And it gives it a little bit more dimension. And again, you could add anything else you want to. You could put a face. You could add leaves. You could do a curlicue stem, right? Or a vine, like a curlicue vine or a stem. Now, Inside of my cat's tail is a spider web. Who likes spider webs? Not me. The worst thing, they're really pretty and beautiful and intricate. They're very very nice to look at. Not if you're like walking down the sidewalk under a tree and then all of a sudden you feel like you've walked through a spider web and you start running down the sidewalk and everyone's looking at you. I hate when that happens. And then you think the spider's in your hair somewhere and you make everyone look for it, but there's no spider anywhere. That spider was probably long gone, but still, does that ever happen to you? Because it happens to me and I don't like it. All right, so inside, we're going to do a cute spider web. So I'm going to start with the letter X with a diagonal line and a diagonal line. So there's my letter X inside the tail. And I'm going to cross it with a horizontal line. Horizontal. All right, now I am going to do, think of it like a stretched out U. U, well, it's not a U anymore because it's sideways, but yeah, and you can do as many of those curved lines as you want to make it look like a spider web. And you can even do a vertical line with an oval and make yourself a creepy, no, not creepy, make it nice. A cute little spider. See, they're cute if they're fake, right? So spiders have 8 legs. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my 8 hairy leg spider. Ugh, gross. In my hair. Gross. Okay. Now, you don't have to add bats if you don't want to add bats. Only add bats if you like them. The way I draw my bat, think of the ears on your bat like a capital letter M. So, M, right? There's my bat ears. Bats are nocturnal. They come out at night. Luckily, I've never felt one in my hair. Thank goodness. And then there's an arch and an arch. And then do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Now think of the bottom of the body like a capital V. V. And if you want to give them some eyeballs, give them some eyeballs. And you can put as many bats on there as you want to. Okay? You can put another one down here. Capital M. Arch the wing. Arch the other wing. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. And a capital V. V. And some eyeballs. Now I hear you. You're going too fast. Slow down. Slow down. You don't have to keep up with me. 1. And we all draw at a different pace. So some of you might be done and some of you might still be drawing, which is fine. It's just like everything else in school. Reading, writing, math, even playing sports. Everyone runs at a different pace. So art's the same way. So make it your own. You guys can always do it later on your own. You could do it at home too. This is something that you could take with you and keep practicing. You don't have to make it look like mine. Again, adapt it however you want to. Make it your own. You want to add sunflowers to it? Add some sunflowers to it. All right, let's see what else is in this pocket. What do you suppose people keep in this big overall pocket? Well, I told you we got to have a pencil, right? How about a phone charger? You always have to have a phone charger. I always need this and I never know what it is, where it is. Gotta have a marker too. How about, would it be rude to keep candy in my pocket? Would that be rude? Well, all right, I'm going to save it for later. I don't want to eat candy in front of you. I like candy. Okay. But you got to balance candy with sugar, a different kind of sugar. A nice, beautiful Honey Crisp apple. Okay, we'll balance our candy with an apple. Okie dokie. Now, to color it. You guys can use color pencils, crayons, markers, highlighters, oil pastel, tempera paint, watercolor paint, acrylic paint. Use what you have, okay? Use any colors that you want, right? So this is your artwork. I'm going to use paint because I love to paint. And I'm going to paint from light to dark. And I usually color that way too, whether I'm using crayons or colored pencils. So I'm not a very neat painter. So I'm going to start with the lightest color. What's the lightest color? I heard you. Yes, you're right. You said yellow. Yellow's the lightest color in my painting. All right, so I want you guys, if you have a yellow crayon or yellow marker or whatever it is that you have, you're going to do your moon. Now, do you want, oops, that's my website, you guys. Got to check it out. artistatheart.org. And I'm on YouTube as Artist at Heart Paint Party, and I have some free videos on there. If you want to check it out, you can watch some free art videos. So I'm doing my moon, but if you want to leave your moon white, you can leave your moon white. Mine's going to be a yellow harvest moon. I like to color in the direction of whatever it is. So it's circular. So my brush stroke or my crayons would follow in that circle. You don't have to. I love to see crayon lines, marker lines, even paint lines. Now, when I'm going to color around my spider, but I got a little bit of yellow inside of it, you know why it doesn't matter? Because I'm going to color it in black. And black is dark, and it'll cover over that yellow that got inside of there. I'm going to color right over my spider web. Now, you can color around your spider web, or you can color over it and re-outline it later. You can use a black marker to go over it. You can use a black crayon to go over it, but it would take me forever to color around all those lines. So I'm just going to color over it. But again, you do what you want to. You want to, I mean, lots of really neat people take their time and really stay inside the lines. And that's great too. I have to be honest with you. I'm going to be a little bit messy. I usually end up with paint everywhere. I got to wash it off right away. And the reason why I like acrylic, it's non-toxic and it's washable while it's wet, and it's washable off of everything except like clothing. Once it dries, you should really get it, washed off in about within 24 hours. So I love teaching art. And I was a Cleveland art teacher for 20 years, teaching all grades, preschool all the way up through high school. And did you know that I used to teach with Mrs. Sullen? Yes, we taught in Cleveland together at the same school. We had so much fun. And did you know something else? Last summer, I was lucky enough to create the mural in the hallway at Parkside. It was so fun. I enjoyed doing it so much. I love to paint. So I went inside the line a little in my kitty cat. I went inside the line with my spider web, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to color over it. All right, you guys, I'm sorry that's there. That's a little better. Okay, so what color would I do next? I did the yellow moon. Well, what color would come next? I would say, I heard you, orange. Again, add a face if you want to add a face. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to go right over those lines. Again, I'm following the shape of the pumpkin. And I just jumped over to the other side just because, why not? Now, you can, lighten it up if you really like lighter colors. Maybe you mix, even if you're using crayon, maybe you mix some of your orange crayon with your yellow crayon. And you'll get a nice yellow-orange color. Or maybe you have a crayon that's called yellow-orange. So don't be afraid. Maybe you mix a little red in there. I want you guys to experiment. So you see that blotch? That's because I accidentally bumped into my black paint. That's why I try not to use dark colors till later. So it's okay. I'm going to just mix it in there. No one will know. No one knows your mistakes, but the people you tell, don't tell anybody. I'll be like, yes, I meant to do that. I'm shading my pumpkin in. It was a mistake, but I'm not having a fit. I'm not rolling around on the floor. I'm not crying. Okay. I'm just mixing it in. And again, if you're using crayon or marker, you can color right over any of your mistakes that you have. You can use cut paper and make a collage. Lots of times I collage over things on my paintings. So that's a mixed media or mixed mediums. Medium is the supplies you're using. So if I'm using marker and paint, I'm using a variety of supplies. So maybe I could add stickers to this. I could add sticker stars to the sky later. Anything that I would add to it for details, I would do later. Okay. So again, only you guys know that that was a mistake that I did, but I mixed it in. And again, I'm like, oh, I meant to do that. Okay. So the purple and the green are pretty close. The purple's a little bit darker than the green, but I want the grass to look like it's overlapping it. So I could do the background next, and you can use purple or you can use blue. So you see mine that looks like purple and blue. So I'm just gonna try some blue and we'll see how it looks. And maybe we mix some purple into it too. All right, so let's see how my blue looks. That looks pretty dark, doesn't it? But it does, you want it to be night. Oh, I'm going too fast, right? I heard you say that. What I wanted to show you guys was there's orange pumpkins. There's white pumpkins, which are so cute. There's orange yellow pumpkins. I went to the store the other day. I saw like 10 different colors of pumpkins. And do you know there really are blue pumpkins? So the blue pumpkins grow in Australia. I really, really would love to see a blue pumpkin. So I haven't seen one yet. I thought maybe I would be able to find one, but I have not been able to find one. So that made me think of the blue. So again, I'm just doing my blue sky. I'm going to make it go around the moon. You could even do black, but the reason why I think black would be too dark is because then your bat wouldn't show up. But maybe you make a brown bat. Maybe you make a gray bat. So you can make the background dark, but you want to have contrast. So contrast is so that it makes something show up really strong, really well. So if I were going to do a black background, my black bats would not show up. They would just blend into it. So again, think about that and think about what color your bat's going to be. And again, that's why I chose blue, but it's a darker blue. So it still looks like night. And I'm going to go, my blue sky is going to go all the way down to where the grass is. And maybe you don't have grass. Maybe it's a sidewalk. Maybe it's a pile of leaves. Maybe you just do the whole ground a pile of leaves. Think outside the box. Think creatively. You can do whatever it is that you want to. Maybe the pumpkin's sitting on a pile of candy. Oh boy. Maybe if you try this again at home, maybe instead of a cat, maybe you do a werewolf and it's scary. Or a dog. Or a frog. Or a llama. Or a sloth. Just try something new. And again, this could be your practice. I wonder how many different versions you can make. Maybe you make, different versions for different people and you give them away. You can make them into cards. You can make them presents for somebody. But the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Just like anything else. The more you read, the better you're going to get at it. The more you practice your math or your writing, the better you're going to get at it. Well, the same is true with art. So keep practicing. You think LeBron James is laying around watching Netflix? Maybe once in a while. It's all about moderation. I guarantee you, LeBron James is still practicing basketball because he knows that he still has to practice to remain really one of the best. I don't think he just said, oh, you know what? I'm the best, so I'm just going to quit. I'm going to quit practicing because I got this. No, you'll see them all. No matter what it is. People in the Olympics, they're always practicing. They're always training. And that, again, goes with cooking and working out and sports and academics and art and everything else. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. I like to tell people your brush stroke is like your handwriting. And what I mean by that, it doesn't look like your handwriting. It looks just different than everybody else's. So even when you're coloring something, you have a style to the way you color with crayons. You have a style, a technique when you use markers. And it's going to look different than mine, and it's going to look different than everybody else's. And that is why I say it's like your handwriting. So when your teacher taught you the ABCs and you copied the ABCs, it looked like your ABCs. You could tell they were the ABCs, but they were in your style. Didn't look like your teachers, and it didn't look like the classmates. Not exactly. You could tell they were the ABCs. Just look different. And that's how art is. So create as much as you can. All right, so now we're going to do the grass. And again, I'm going to use green. You can make your grass or your leaves. You can make a sidewalk. You can make a pumpkin patch. Ooh, have you guys gone to a good pumpkin patch? Or an apple orchard? So again, you guys decide what you want to do. Could you put spiders in your grass? Could you add more pumpkins? Of course. A pumpkin patch, yes, you would add way more. What kind of pumpkin patch would have one pumpkin? And again, if you want to put a face on there, put a face on there. Maybe you use a couple different kinds of green. Maybe you use a light green and a dark green. If you want to put a leaf on your pumpkin, put a leaf on your pumpkin. So again, that's what I'm talking about, the contrast. See, there's not a lot of contrast with that green leaf on the blue background. So that's why when you have to think about the colors you're going to use and if they're going to show up great. So I bet you if I outlined it later, you would be able to see my leaf a little better. But I don't want to do it now. So many people want to jump into the black because it's so bold and so dramatic. But then you bump into stuff. Well, I do at least. I already told you guys I'm not the neatest painter or artist. I'm a little bit sloppy. So I try my best, but I'm going to do my bats. And you know what? I'm just going to leave the eyeballs white, like they're glowing white. I'm going to go slow. Now, if you're painting, I would just use the smallest brush you have. And if you are using crayon, find a nice and dark. And again, you could use brown if you want to make a brown bat. You could make the eyes glowing with yellow, but my moon's yellow, so I'm going to leave mine white. My wing could go right off the edge of the page. If you run out of room, it could just go right off the side. I'll do my other bat with his ears. Leave the eyes white. Well, guess what? That one kind of covered up. So you know what I could do? I can wait for that to dry and I can go back into it later and add the white eyes. If you have any little white stickers, you can put them in for eyes. If you have eyeball stickers, you could add eyeball stickers. If you have wiggly eyes at home, maybe you could add some wiggly eyes in there. That would be really cute. You could put two cats, right? That you could have two together sitting on the pumpkin. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas. So when you do it again, because I know you're all going to do it again, think different. And don't compare yours to somebody else because it's yours. Be like, oh, hers is perfect. Mine looks horrible. No, yours looks like yours. And if you do it again, it's going to come out even better. And if you do it again after that, it's going to be even better. You're going to come up with more ideas, but you got to keep trying. Give it a cute little tail. Don't forget about that disgusting spider over there. And again, you don't have to have the spider if you don't want to. It's not a disgusting spider. It's a cute spider, as long as it's not real. Now, you can also add stars in the sky, right? You could put stars in the sky. You could put stickers in the sky. You could put your name on it. You could put 2020. You could put your initials. Here's the little dangly spider. The 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you want to outline it, you can outline it. If you want to sign it, maybe sign it in the grass. If you want to add a face, you could turn it into a jack-o'-lantern. When you turn a pumpkin with like a plain pumpkin and add a face, it becomes a jack-o'-lantern. So here's one of my silly jack-o'-lanterns, and here's the other silly jack-o'-lantern, right? And again, if you guys have construction paper, you can always add construction paper. You can make it dimensional and have things boing out at you. And look, this, surprise! So you can keep it a jack-o'-lantern. Oops. All right, it came off. Or you can turn it into a pumpkin. It's up to you. The most important thing is you guys create think outside the box. And one last thing I want to tell you, okay? I got one more thing for you guys. So, you know, as an art teacher, I used to save everything. And right now, with everything going on, there's so much junk mail, but it's like really pretty junk mail. So it's got like these really cool colors and these awesome letters, right? Look at how big these letters are. I love to save this stuff, and you guys have plenty probably in your mailbox just in one day. So you just find the letters of your name maybe, and you cut them each out. And then you glue them together and you make some art with it. So look what I made. Create art. And I just took an old postcard that came in the mail, and I cut the letters, each one apart, and then I glued them down to just a postcard. And again, I'll see if I have, but you have to carefully cut the letters apart. Here's an example. Look what I did. So I cut, can you tell what letter? Today. So the T is missing. See, it's missing. So I took the T and I used the T for this, right? So you guys, that's just a whole nother project you could do. You could even do Happy Halloween and find all the letters on these postcards. So it's so important to recycle stuff and help our environment and use what you have. So if you check the mail later, find some cool stuff and make some cool art. So I'm Denyse. I am super excited that you guys created with me. Enjoy your treats or maybe some candy. And I am going to do one last thing before we finish. Oh, no, I'm not going to eat. I don't want to eat it in front of you because that would be rude. But I'm just going to real quick outline my pumpkin. That's me banging around, banging. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline it to show you the difference. Does it look better now that it's outlined? Or do you like it without the outline on it? And then see where I didn't have the strong contrast with the green on the blue. So if I outline it with black and maybe put a line through the center, it shows up better. See the difference? So see the difference between the orange and the green? And there you have it. So that, is, again, would be an example of an outline. What I don't want to do is get too close to my cat. And maybe I just clean up the edges of my cat where I was a little bit messy. And do you want to see me add some eyes to my other bat that actually disappeared? I can. Again, I told you guys use stickers or something. So let's say you're painting and you want to make some nice dots. What I do is I take the handle and I dip it. So I'm going to do some bat eyes with some white paint. So I took the handle and I dipped it into the white paint, and then I could do a bat eye there and a bat eye there. Now they show up better, right? You can see it better. All right. Oh, you know what? Let's do one more thing. Oh my gosh. I keep saying that. I know. We're almost done. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a little purple in there. Okay. So purple and yellow are complementary colors and they look really good together. So maybe you just put a little bit of purple in your background too. Why not? And look, my brush stroke is following that circle, even though it's outside of it. See that? Like Van Gogh, nice lines. You see a lot of lines in there. It makes it just a little bit more interesting. And again, you could do the same thing with the crayon. You could do the same thing with the marker. try a little area and see if you like it. But I do like mixing purple and blue together, especially for a nighttime sky. See, it adds a little, it makes it a little more interesting. Just be careful, if you're painting, go slow. If you're coloring, try mixing some pretty purple. And again, just make sure that purple is just not too dark so your bat doesn't disappear. Think outside the box. Do it again. If you guys want to send me pictures, send me pictures. Okay, you can email me, check out the website, go to YouTube and see all the different videos, you guys. I want you to have a fantastic, fabulous, safe day. Enjoy creating, and I hope to see you guys again. Be safe and keep learning. Thank you so much for creating with me. I'm Denyse with Artist at Heart. Thank you, Parkside. Enjoy your day. Oh, wait, my friend says goodbye too. I lost my little, I was going to have the spider say goodbye, but instead he'll say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.